Welcome to William Steele, True Crime and Steel Spotlight Television. This is William Steele with my guest host, Ignacio Esteban.
Bill, what's going on, man? You like it? You can see it now. It says "Life's one happy game," huh?
Life's one happy game behind Ignacio. Like I
Yeah,
said a minute ago, unless they're on in your old career as an ATF agent, unless they're on the receiving end of your
30 year,
equipment,
30-year bet. Yeah, they're doing 30 years. Yeah, that's not
yeah,
a good time for them.
being told, being told to get on the floor by you.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Um,
and I see you that talking about ATF guy on the floor. Did you see this earlier this week? The shootout in Little Rock. I don't know if you saw the article I forwarded you.
Yeah,
ATF.
let me just say something real quick now that we're on that subject about
Yeah,
getting on the floor. So one time I was wanted and I was in a hotel in West Palm, and I was with a woman in there. I didn't know she had called and reported me for like a reward or whatever,
yeah,
and so I would usually, if I'm in that situation, tell everybody, "Hey, you got to lock your phones up in the safe or in my briefcase, and if you decide to leave, I'm changing rooms and you can't come back because I don't need the cops or a boyfriend or somebody showing up at the
sure.
door. Hey, So I would try to lock down communication devices, right? Somehow she was able to call, and
Mm,
yeah. So next thing you know, at like 3 in the afternoon, I hear vacuuming right outside my door constantly, like for a long time. Now, housekeeping doesn't clean the hallway 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I then looked at the parking lot and I look up, and as high as you can see, there's a dot of a helicopter. And I said, they're coming for me and they're evacuating the floor.
yeah, they're getting
And
ready, Bill.
that's exactly what they were doing. They were running the vacuum in front of my door, and they were getting a hold of everybody by phone and asking them to come out, and then they put them in the lobby or somewhere else in case there was a problem or a shootout. So next thing you know, I got a remote. I looked at her. I said, "Did you call the cops?" I said, "Like they're everywhere." She said, "I don't see them." I said, "There's a helicopter there, and they're vacuuming in front of the door 4 o'clock in the afternoon."
They're
So
coming,
clear.
Bill. They're coming.
Right.
They're
So
coming.
am I on point or not? This is some of your
You,
tactics,
you,
right?
you have to be smart. Yeah, especially if you got somebody that's wanted. Yeah, you got to be smart. You got to protect
Yep.
the people staying in the hotel.
I get it. Don't follow my footsteps. So they eventually boom, 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 boom. They're knocking on the door. My dumb butt. I have the remote control in my hand when they come in.
Ooh, got to be careful.
Right. And so they come in, they got all the equipment on, the little machine guns and their shotguns and their vests and all this crap, like a SWAT team or whatever it was from West I think it was West Palm or Palm Beach Sheriff's
The
Office.
Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. Yeah.
They came in really hard because various reasons. And I'm like, okay, I'm opening the door. And I opened it, drop the gun. I'm like, whoa, it's not a gun, it's a remote. And I went like this, like my hands open in front of my face. And
Don't have anything that looks dark in your hands, Bill. Not a good thing. Not a good thing.
I know that, but in the spur of the moment, you're not thinking like
Yeah.
that.
Oh no, your heart's pumping hard. Your adrenaline's going. You're like, oh my god, what do I do? Can I escape this? And it's like, no, I think this is it for you.
No, I don't get like that, like you just described for some reason. I get very like introspective. I'm like, shit. Because I'm always expecting it to come. So when it's there, it's like,
It's it.
shit.
Game set, match.
I'm gonna
Game
be
set.
booking. I'm gonna be booking all day, eating crappy sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. At least you cooperate. The case I sent you about ATF this week, and it shows you never know. Any search warrant can go bad. Any search warrant can go bad. This is in Little Rock area. I guess this guy had a search warrant, arrest warrant for this guy for involved in some weapons offense. I'm not sure with firearms trafficking or dealing with unregistered weapons, what have you. And they knocked him out 6 a.m. And I've been in at least warrants. Anytime 6 in the morning. So it's not going to be a no knock. It's going to be a knock and announce. Police. You're going to have lights and sirens everywhere. So the brother can't be saying that, oh, he had no idea it was the police or law enforcement. Of course, it's police law enforcement. He chose still to open up, and they responded. And I think he's in critical condition. He might die. But you know what? When you deal with these warrants, anything can happen, Bill. Anything can happen. It's a dangerous situation. And I'm glad this time the good guys ended up all right in this one.
Yeah. There's been several cases where they've gone in the wrong residence. I don't, not ATF, but other agencies.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. People have to be careful. That's why I always double checked everything when I had a warrant, make it had the right location, everything was right. The tough ones are if you've never been to the place or you haven't been there, because a lot of time I did buys and whatever, so I knew exactly where it was, right? But tough ones like you're doing an apartment, right? You never been inside it. and maybe the guy moved over or something. Those always can be tricky. But I was fortunate enough to deal with residents or townhomes, and they're pretty much where you're dealing with and what the location's at. So
You
that's
ever
what
come you ever come across a booby trap residence or a pit bull that you couldn't control or something like that?
dogs. Yeah, sometimes you got to be careful with the dogs, and you got to be careful. You have to either neutralize them, where you can, but sometimes they do. Pit bulls are dangerous. Be careful. Anytime you also did sometimes for search warrants trash pools, right in the middle of the night, you got to go out there and grab trash to help you build your case to get inside the house, right? Sometimes you can get really good stuff, and sometimes you just waste your time. It's like it's miserable what you find in there.
Other times you're getting dirty diapers and condoms.
Maggots. How about dirty maggots? Maggots in there with nasty foods and people's crap in there.
Oh my god!
Awful, awful. I mean, sometimes you get kilo wrappers with cocaine residue. That's always nice. Or sometimes you get some little baggies or crack pipes in there, right? Those are good.
You show them it shows they're in the business, basically.
Yeah, business and or how about a guy who's a felon and he has maybe some ammo boxes, right, that he throw away. Okay, or something that shows that he still has weapons, or anytime you have dog food, right, so to speak, most likely there's gonna be a dog. You have bullets, most likely you have a gun somewhere in the house there too. So and remember, and a felon cannot have ammo either,
Right.
or spent casings. So all that also adds up to it too. So those are interesting cases that and what's just one of the top topic of my old agency, ATF. Big story. I don't know if maybe I talked a little bit about it last month. NRA, National Rifle Association, big rival to ATF, of course. They never liked us. We've always been the jackbooted thugs. They've always called us every name in the book they can. We're the whooping boy to help bring up membership. And Wayne LaPierre and top executives, all in this big civil suit, were found guilty of corruption.
Oh,
All
wow.
the top brass of the NRA found guilty of corruption, guilty of using donations, membership money for their own personal gain, for their own personal lifestyle, and it is a big blow to the NRA for sure. Disgraceful.
When exactly did that go down? Recently?
Last month.
Wow, because in that case with Sandy Modell and his son Ryan, the prosecutor Amira Fox, Fort Myers, and DeSantis, are being accused and alleged to being so tight with the NRA, they want their votes, that they're not prosecuting the killer of Ryan Modell. And Amira Fox was in trouble for, I think, some kind of corruption issue with the NRA. She got caught. She had to pay a fine. She's still a prosecutor. So the writing's on the wall. And
I think the writing is on the wall for the NRA. That I think people need to look into it. Especially if you're a member, you're paying that kind of money. Look what they do with their money. These guys were misusing it for their own personal gains.
And
Awful.
didn't they have a Russian spy, a chick, join their organization one time? And she
Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. They were there. She was going to gun shows and everything else, and
right.
she eventually got convicted of being an unregistered agent in Tallahassee. She did some time. Maria, she even interviewed Victor Bout when he got out. He in the first interviews with her because she speaks English, so she interviewed him. Maria, I forgot her name right now, but it escapes. We even talked briefly about it in one of our shows before. And yeah, she's a disgrace also. We're using the NRA, the gun culture, just to get more information, more
I
about
would
us.
almost think you said, nemesis and whatever you said. I would think the NRA and the agents, I know there's been historically issues, blah, blah, blah. But
Sure.
I would think many of the agents lean Republican and would support gun ownership, legal gun ownership.
No, they do. They do. They don't like us because they need a boogeyman. And we became the whipping boy because by scaring everybody thinking ATF's coming to get your guns. ATF's coming. ATF's coming. That helps to get membership up.
I think the bad publicity with ATF started around 93 when the Randy Weaver case and the Waco thing.
Well, first Ruby Ridge, and then you have Waco.
Randy Weaver. That was Ruby Ridge.
Ruby Ridge, of course. That was ATF case, but ATF really had nothing involved with that. That was the marshals going in there.
Didn't a sniper? It wasn't ATF. It was somebody shot.
FBI and the marshals, yeah.
Well, she was holding a baby or something when she got shot, right?
Yeah, I don't have to look into that again. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
But the door and tried to come out of this thing where he was holed up or whatever. And
he was gun charges, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The case was some informant had him sell him a cut down shotgun that was under, I think, 18 inches. So therefore, it's in your jurisdiction.
It was an ATF case, right. But it ended up being the marshals. He killed a marshal. Remember, they killed one marshal, and then his wife was killed. Why don't you like I've said with David Koresh, and I've said with others, how about you cooperate? David Koresh knew a warrant was coming. They were coming to his house, right? Because his letter carrier brother-in-law told him that the ATF was coming because of a Waco reporter got lost and asked, "Hey, has ATF hit the house already at the compound?" Right? And he said, "Hey, I heard that the feds are coming." So they knew
But who the heck
ATF was coming.
notified? Who notified the media for what, a photo op? I don't think they should have been notified of the raid.
They should have been. That's a mistake, and that's why you're very careful. And I was always careful with my ops. They should not know if it leaks out. That's a big mistake. That only compromise an investigation. But people learn, and that was such a. But why not turn yourself in? Why not do the right thing? Right.
I
So
heard the reason they came on to Waco compound to begin with, besides all this fanatical stuff that was leaking out,
yeah,
that a UPS or driver or somebody, there was a box of deactivated grenades, like the paperweight type. There was a box of those being shipped there, and it broke open. And he reported that, I think the postal inspectors or ATF or somebody, and that's kind of what opened this whole investigation into Waco.
yeah. Waco. They had all different guns, and of course, he. On top of that, he's also abusing having sex with young girls, minors, and stuff like that, and involved in a lot of bad things. And like any of these cult leaders, Jim Jones, Koresh, and others, they end up taking advantage of. If you give too much control to somebody, they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to hurt you. They're going to abuse your children, abuse your wife. I mean, he didn't even let the men have sex with their own women. Only he could.
I know. It's hard. It's horrible, and a lot of them do that. Oh, you can't do that if you're loyal to this church and to God. I'm the leader, and they're all for me or whatever.
Right, right. No. So, but going back to the NRA for a second, Bill. So that's the whole. It's look it up yourselves. Everybody, I'll send a link on it there. What happened to the president and the other executives, high-ranking members of the NRA? They were pretty much found guilty of civil corruption for misusing donations by members for their own personal gains, for luxurious trips and lifestyles.
A lot of those type of cases, those civil corruption or racketeering cases, can be transferred into criminal prosecutions also.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Because
We'll see what happens.
the evidence is laid out. I'm aware of several cases where civil racketeering was employed, and one of these expert attorneys in that is in Florida. And we talked at length with him several times. He knows what I do, and he says this is a very good tool. And what he'll do is, let's say the leaders are going to go down for like a civil
Sure.
racketeering or even nursing home people, whoever. You don't just name the owner and the location and a few of the employees. You serve all their families. You sue them too, all the family members. He said, here's why. If they're bringing home a paycheck or corrupt money, they're not just spending it on themselves. Their wife's getting a car. The wife's living in a house. The kid's college is being paid for. Therefore, their family members are benefiting from the racketeering activity. So when you sue them, instead of suing 5 people, you sue 20 in a civil racketeering. You know why? Because like when you guys make a racketeering case, and you're serving everybody, even peripheral players, they're all going to start talking. It wasn't me, it's him, and
they're going to cooperate for sure. That's smart. That's good tactics.
Very good tactic. And a lot of those civil racketeering can be converted to criminal prosecutions.
Yeah. So I just put that out there with the whole thing that was coming out, since we were talking about ATF and cases, and then the whole thing broke up with the NRA. And I always felt that the NRA was always unfair to hardworking ATF agents. Like you said, most of us are leaning right, very pro Second Amendment, pro weapons for law-abiding citizens, and that mentality of abolish ATF, get rid of ATF. These guys are jackbooted thugs. Was a tactic in my mind, and what I've seen historically was just to scare tactic to get membership up and to make us the boogeyman, and that's what they end up doing.
NRA should initiate a lawsuit against them now for racketeering against the NRA with bogus propaganda. Yeah, I always said Trump should have did that a long time ago when people started putting all these false narratives and fake statements of his out when they know what the context was, but they put it out anyway. He should have started hitting all the media with immediate lawsuits, and that probably would have stopped years ago. Oh, he's going to fire back, and he's got tons of lawyers and money. Let's make sure we vet what we're putting out there.
Yeah. And since you mentioned Trump, we can transition over to Trump. Lots to talk about, folks. Every week we got plenty to talk about here. We'll hit Trump and what's going on with his situation here. He's before I talk about the civil side, because I know this, a lot of people don't know this, that he's a major owner of this social media site called Truth Social.
Yep, I'm on there.
Social. Are you on there?
Yep. Official William Steele on Truth Social. Check me out.
Truth Social. Okay. Guess what, Bill? The company's going public possibly next week.
Oh, man.
You know what that means for him?
He gets his money to pay off his
Well, I don't think that's going to work for him. I don't think that, because it's going to be on paper. He would have to sell the company. $3 billion he might gain to his worth of his family. $3 billion for his company. So we'll see. Keep an eye on that. We'll see how the company goes next week. But and in the meantime, he had to come up with $500 million, almost $500 million, to cover. What do you got there?
That's me on Truth Social.
Okay,
Follow me, official William Steele. Truth Social. If you
Truth
want the
Social.
truth, if you
Going
want the
public.
truth,
Going public.
unfiltered. We know Facebook and all these other outlets. We love them for various reasons, but you can't say the wrong thing on YouTube or Facebook or take a Republican stance without being shut down. These people here and Rumble will never shut you
Rumble,
down.
man. We're doing good on Rumble too. Do you put our
Rumble,
shows on there too, Bill, or no? On Truth
yeah,
Social?
we're starting to get them up a little more frequently.
Good.
They used to sync immediately onto there, but now it looks like they will have to do it manually.
I'll take a look at Truth Social. Let's get as much shows we can out there. We're big on Rumble. Like I always say, our numbers are probably the best we have on Rumble out there. We get thousands, over 10,000 shows are very popular because, like you said, it's kind of conservative. People like what we're saying. It's leaning right, and people like that. So,
Mhm.
what is Trump going to do? He is worried. He is worried that he might lose some of his major properties in New York, right? Because no insurance company wants to underwrite $500 million. He
Right.
got lucky. Chubb Insurance did do the one for Eugene Carroll for about 90 million. Okay, I think that one he's going to do well on. He's concerned, and I think the state is already starting to put in liens on those properties to seize them, and he's really concerned about it. He only has, I think, a week left. I'm not sure what he may have to file for bankruptcy. People are pointing that he may have to file for bank, and that's going to tarnish his image. So he is really concerned what is going on here. Maybe a rich friend of his, he has a multi-billionaire. Maybe I would say Elon Musk,
Yeah.
but someone like an Elon Musk might say, you know what, I'm going to lend you guys $500 million because I have 20, 30 billion. That's no big deal for me.
Yeah, it's no big deal for people like him. Well,
No,
I wonder if they'd go to the level of putting something out and saying, "Look, like a fundraiser, we need $10 from each one of my supporters. It's an
he's
emergency."
trying.
You
He's
know,
trying. He's
but
been fundraising for a
how
while.
many scammers would put up that right now and try to pitch Republicans to donate, thinking it's going to Trump?
There's a lot of scams out there, Bill. Unfortunately, as you
If
know, there's
you
plenty of
see
scams.
something, if you see something fundraising or selling Trump coins or anything claiming they're from Trump, they have AI replicating him and his voice now. So I would suggest you go to Truth Social. Trump's on there. It was virtually every day. So is his family. It's got the blue check mark. Make sure they're actually from the Trump organization
Okay.
because we do the crime prevention here. We don't want don't see people donating to things that he needs, and wanting to see him president again and getting ripped off by some scammer and God knows where.
Yeah. So what we'll see. So that's the tough part for Trump right now financially. He's dealing with a bad situation there that he's going to have to address either bankruptcy, donation, or they're going to start seizing property from him. And he's afraid of he's going to lose Trump Tower. He doesn't want to lose. That's his image. That's his. I mean, and then of course he has a lot of properties in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. He has also in Doral, right? He has properties other places in Florida, and he has some in Chicago. But he does not want to lose his crown jewel, and that's what he's worried about right now. So we'll see what happens there. And then with, of course, politics, and we're still talking Trump, RFK Jr., Biden's having his issues, but RFK Jr. has an interesting list of shorts that he's going to announce for VP next week. People remember Jesse the Body Ventura, right? The former governor of Minnesota, who was a former Navy SEAL, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's considering it. He's on the short list. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if how much you follow football. Yeah, great Green Bay Packer player with the Jets. I think he's about to retire. He was injured, but he has some issues with some of these conspiracy theories that a lot of people don't like. That through Alex Jones, Sandy Hook, kind of things like that didn't really happen, which people don't like. I mean, obviously we know what happened. Those kids were massacred. You can't make it up where Alex Jones conspiracy type thing. So if you start dabbling too much in that, people don't. People want the truth. They don't want to go down that path there. I think if he picks a serious political candidate like Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard. She's representative from Hawaii. She used to be a Democrat. She left the Democratic Party. I think she's half Samoan, half Indian, right? Now she went to CPAC, and I think she may be becoming a strong independent, libertarian type. People like her policies. I think that would be a good candidate for her. Andrew Young, remember him? He was a businessman, Asian guy, ran for the Republican Democrats, and then he became an independent. I think that's someone that might get his attention. He has a few good names out there. And I think with people not being disenfranchised with both sides, I think RFK Jr. is going to do a lot better than people think. He is about to be on all 50 states, Bill. He's going to hurt Biden. He might even hurt Trump a little bit. And don't be surprised if he wins some states. We'll see what happens.
Yep. I was just looking over this other thing, this Rumble channel we were talking about to show people what that looks like.
Oh, Rumble's great. We have a lot of shows on Rumble. Check out Rumble, folks.
So I'm there under official William Steele / William Steele author. So there's two different ways to get to it. But Rumble is got a green little icon. Check it out. It's free. Very similar to YouTube, except you're not going to be censored there.
No, Rumbles are good. But it's bigger and bigger shows are going on Rumble all the time. Big names are in Rumble right now. I can't remember his last name, but he was on Fox and he has his own private show. Dan, he's a big guy.
Well, Dan Bongino, he was a Secret Service.
Right, Secret Service NYPD guy. He's doing really well on Rumble too. So a lot of shows are doing well. Hopefully, our base keeps on expanding on Rumble too. And talking about expanding, I just for my latest press release, right, from Transmedia Group, right, Tom Madden and then Jennifer, Adrian Mazzoni, with my latest book, the most heinous killers and murders the world has ever seen. It has the bloody handprint. Remember that, Bill?
Yeah,
that looks pretty cool. The bloody handprint right there.
Trying to pull it up on the screen here. So
okay.
Just real quick, we're going to put it in the edits, but that's what it looks like.
Pretty cool book.
Ignacio's latest book and press release from Transmedia.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get that one. That's going to be a later project. I'm doing Tyrants and Killers right now. I'm with another guy, a professional voice actor. I'm trying to see if I can get that book maybe started in the summer or a little in the fall to make that an Audible too. So I got those books. I got a lot of books on Audible, ATF Undercover, and the most dangerous crime syndicates of our time right now. I'm working another one, and hopefully I'll get my fourth book out by the end of the year on Audible. Audible does well.
You know what's amazing about you? You have over 80-something books at this point, and you've only been retired, I think, less than 2 years.
Less than 3 years.
Less than 3. You probably have more books, and this guy writes fake crime. He writes crime, but it's he's a great author. You probably have more books out there right now that are actually real than James Patterson.
James Patterson, that's right.
He's massive. He lives out on Palm Beach, and maybe we can get him on a show to give us.
Was he a neighbor? I was seeing a documentary yesterday. Actually, following with Epstein in West Palm Beach. Neighbors.
Yeah, well, in Palm Beach, they all say they're neighbors, but it's a very small insular community. I mean, homes there start at 25 million and up. So,
I didn't know all the details about Epstein, but man, he took a lot of steps to get these girls into his different locations. My goodness, and Maxwell was a big part of that to get them to do what they did together. It's horrible. Young girls, impressionable. When you bring that kind of flash, he'll bring them to New Mexico. What a ranch he had out there. This documentary is unbelievable. West Palm was amazing. Girls coming in and out. New York City, that amazing townhouse. Paris, he has an amazing place. And then he has that amazing house in the Virgin Islands. This guy's something else.
I wrote the book about Ghislaine Maxwell. Mm-hmm. And did you see the interior of the house in New York? There was a gigantic oil painting about 8 feet tall.
Yes.
What was it, Bill Clinton in a dress?
But
so there's no comment going to be said on this show about why he was painted in a dress. Let's just say there's been plenty of speculation and reporting and observation.
Yeah.
That he was into a lot of weird stuff and is potentially reported to be on camera. So,
well, if he did it in the White House with Monica Lewinsky, right, his intern, and all the stuff that he did with her. And remember the famous cigar? You look at Turo Fuente, you think of his famous cigar, what he did with his cigar, right? And then he smokes it, right? Just let your imagination play out what he did with Lewinsky and the famous blue dress. Right. And he's doing that not in the Oval Office. He was calling it the Oral Office. So what would he do outside those? And what he did before? When he's the governor of Arkansas, Bill Clinton was infamous for using state troopers to bring and do things, and that's why their marriage was kind of a joke. The whole situation is a joke.
She evidently, it's been reported, was into women. Yeah. So I know. So she's reported to be an enabler and participant.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to say what you want to say because this goes up on YouTube, and YouTube will like, oh, you couldn't say that, you shouldn't say that. This has been in the media. This is where
Reported.
I do some investigative journalism.
We
I
do.
I knew some of the peripheral players and all this. I've seen some of the evidence. I wrote a book about it. So we're reporting from news accounts, from victim accounts, and
Yeah.
just kind of going over it again from our unique perspectives here.
It's
So
shocking, especially on the documentary. And I'm getting it from a documentary, which is all over Netflix, which is very popular on Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. And what's also is that he also have ties with Trump a lot, and they were showing his connections with Donald Trump also.
yep.
So I think Donald Trump regrets some of the stuff he has. I would imagine he would regret what he said about Epstein. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think his life is
Yeah,
pretty fascinating.
he's on some interview saying, yeah, Epstein, something like I stay away from him. He likes him too young or something like that.
Too young. He likes him
Yeah.
too young. I like him young, but not that young. Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
What are you gonna do? So fascinating look there too. Since
I got the trailer. I'm just sending you about that series you're talking about. I just sent it to you on your text. You'll see it's on my Instagram.
what is it?
It's a trailer where I have mention of my book for that Netflix series, and
Okay.
where I'm in the opening scene. If you click on there,
Okay.
I'll tell you about that off the record, when we
All
get
right.
off the air. But
Yeah.
everybody wants to check that out, that trailer and my book. You can go to Amazon, or I'll throw it up on the screen. But
Yeah.
that trailer is on my Instagram, which is official William Steele also.
Cool. Now we'll take a look, folks. There's a lot. In case you're first time you're joining us, you haven't seen much of us. Bill and I have written. I have almost like 80 books on Amazon, 2 books on Audible. I've written the screenplays. I'm working with a major PR firm that Bill introduced me to with Transmedia Group, trying to go forward, trying to make some big projects, big shows. Bill's working on the same thing here. So we're doing the podcast shows. We're doing writings. We're trying to Bill. You did a small bit in Silent Partners too, right?
Right. I just came back from South Florida. I was in
Yeah.
Silent Partners, a very small thing. Who knows if even my lines are going to be in it? But it looks like I'll be in it because I'm playing cards with Dave Iacchevetti, and Dave wrote the book called Fat Dave about his father, a Gambino captain. And
Right. Tell me that. Yeah.
Silent Partners is that book come to life. So
And who was the director? You said good things about her. You interviewed her a little bit.
Christy Trabata, she's out of
Shabata.
South Florida, and
Okay.
George Jokes. These people are making it happen. And Cyril just advertised that he's getting ready to roll, I think, next week, into producing numerous other movies back to back. One used to be called Suitcasing, and it did well as some kind of smaller series, but they changed it to Chain Gang. Then there's one called The Ministry, which I think is a bunch of, I'm not sure, but I think it's a bunch of thugs who will go after pedophiles. I'm not sure, but it's called The Ministry. That's with him with a major network.
Okay.
He's rolling out several movies in a row, and he just posted that yesterday, like 6 different movies, like rolling right into them.
Nice.
So
He's a busy guy. That's
I have,
good.
he gave me, told me that he would definitely put me in one with a speaking role or speaking part at least. And so I'm hoping that he circles back and we get into something else, because when I produce mine, I wouldn't mind having him, have a part in it, or especially Bruce, Bruce, Bruce
Bruce, yeah,
Sosa.
you did a show with Bruce, right? Yeah.
He's awesome. He's got strong faith. He's getting into be an A-list actor. If you look last night, I posted a short with you in it, me in it,
Smiles.
Frank. Yeah, did you like that? A little
I
bit.
like it. Pretty cool. Who else was in there? There's some Bruce was there too, right?
Bruce, me, you, Frank Lordy,
Nice.
and Dave Iacchevetti at the
Oh,
very
Dave
end.
Iacchevetti's in there? Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So
I looked at it this morning when I saw it. I like it. We'll keep on pushing that stuff around there. A lot of projects. I'm even thinking about maybe do some documentaries too. I have a lot of good ideas, Bill. I think we'll make really fast, especially my insight with ATF. I think I can do a few things, Bill, that haven't been done yet, and I think it will be fascinating. People really want to take a look at it.
you do them in drama series reenactment role, like a docu-series,
Docu-series, maybe.
instead of make sure you remember me. I want a part in each one of them, Ignacio.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget me either, Bill. Keep on bringing it. We go back and forth, back and forth.
You'll be there for the consultant at a minimum, but certainly I'll get you on screen.
For sure. Now, also, I know we had talked a little bit about something personal for me, and I know you looked at the petition that I wrote now. Last time we spoke about Buc-ee's. Now, people who don't know what Buc-ee's is, you weren't too familiar with Buc-ee's until I mentioned it to you, right, Bill?
About I never heard of it.
Massive convenience store gas station combo that came out of Texas, and now it's a behemoth that's spreading, right? But you know the problem is they've gotten too big. Who wants 120 gas stations with almost their convenience store bill is like the size of a little Walmart. So you got a convenience store the size of a Walmart, and you got a gas station 120 plus, right? We don't want it in our backyard. We live in a very, very nice area, Bill. Very area, and it would just bring over. They're saying the numbers close to over 10,000 people a day. Who wants to have 10,000 people in a day? Imagine going off I-95, the interstate, and that's people who don't know. It's near exit 140 to go back and forth, in and out. Nobody wants that. That's a problem.
That's your change petition. So the link will be in the description if you'd like to sign it. I gave an extensive comment
Thank you.
about spike in crime that occurs when these places are built, and that there's other options besides, you know, the affluent area of
go to change.org and type in my name, Ignacio Esteban, and you'll see my petition there. Stop Buc-ee's from coming to Stafford. It's not a place, something we really don't want here. And a lot of people don't want it. Go. I mean, I'm not opposed about, but I mean, honestly, Bill, I don't personally like them. I've been to one in St. Augustine and the one in Daytona. I just think for me, it's just overcrowded. It's overpriced. And I really don't care for it. And it's not much room to seat and all that. I don't like them. I really don't like them. So I kind of keep away from it. And I definitely don't want them in my backyard. That's for sure. So many of the people are saying, and it's not good for the environment. And here's another issue we have to worry about: higher crime. Higher crime will be a big. And when we talk a little bit about this with your background, what a cover. You know how many parking spots you're going to have, Bill? Almost 1,000.
It's massive.
That's massive.
I'm looking at the petition now, and I added a comment. How long before they actually post them?
Where'd you put it on the comment section?
Yes. How do I find it?
I'll look for it later. Then I'll take a look.
If you want to put it up and read it over the air, I think you'd love what I wrote. I really do. I think you should read it on the air right now.
Can you? I can't find it. So what did you write?
I don't have it. I can't pull it up.
No, it didn't show it.
I can't find the comment section.
Yeah, I found the comment section, but I didn't see your comment.
It might not have been approved yet. Maybe they have to approve it.
I don't know. Did you sign the petition?
Yes, I signed it. Mary's about to sign it too.
Okay. If it's signed, then they can verify that it's signed. Then they may approve your comment. So I'll look into it. Will you paraphrase it? What did you say?
Basically, I have a true crime channel and TV show, William Steele True Crime, based upon my life experience. I didn't say what it was. My life experience, extensive research, and observations. When these behemoths are built, crime in the community dramatically spikes, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the crime aspect of it. I gave a shout out to the shows, right? I said, and additionally, the gas emitted from the massive tanks is a carcinogen, and it's too close to homes. No. And the cheap Chinese products, is a big draw for all kinds of, riffraff to hang out there. So it's really extensive. And at the end, I said, as a matter of fact, anybody who votes for this, in my opinion, may be compromised.
And in my opinion, doesn't live there. They make, people who said they liked it. I've been on all these Facebook pages, Bill, on Stafford. I have now covered it all. And some people say, but you know what? I find out a lot of people that want it don't live in that particular area. They don't mind stopping by and getting their cup of coffee, filling up and heading out, but they don't have to deal with the traffic day in and day out. That's a problem. You know what else is going to impact the bill, which I was thinking? Mm-hmm. All the kids that have to take the bus to school and how much traffic they don't have to deal with. Now the buses are going to be delayed also, and kids going to school. There's a lot of issues.
I like the way you put the links verifying the spike in crimes in other jurisdictions, but it's just killing me that I can't find the comment section on this at the moment.
Yeah. And also put in there, Bill, the FBI statistics about rising crime when you have especially a big gas station and convenience store like that. These are FBI statistics that have been coming out, and I put the numbers in there also. So people say, I want to see some numbers. Okay, here's some numbers. Oh, but you know what? You have crime anywhere. Well, great. I don't want that here then. Put it there. I would like to put there if I can. And I put this there. How about I set up a nice park in that area where you can have walking trails, kids can play, make a tennis/pickleball courts, and we'll do that instead.
Give them an option. I don't know how to find the comment. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Well, I'll find it later, Bill. We'll take a look at it. Okay.
Probably maybe mine wasn't cleared yet also, but I don't know how to find it. So, all right.
What else do you want to talk about? We have a lot of Haiti. Look at the situation in Haiti. We can transition to it's just gotten worse. You know what? I'm frustrated with the Biden administration again, Bill. They have to get some Americans out, helicopter rescues again, and the body count is enormous in Port-au-Prince now. Have you seen the images of the body counts? People getting massacred,
No,
and again, the world's watching. What is going on here? The transitional government can't get it together. This guy, the prime minister, is in Puerto Rico. Last time I heard, right? Henry, Ariel Henry. What is going on here? And the world's watching this happening and unfold, and these poor innocent people are getting massacred. The chief of police, it's anarchy, complete anarchy. I couldn't imagine living in that kind of environment where these animals are coming in armed to the teeth and just laying waste to your family.
they broke all the prisons and jails open and let everybody escape into the community.
And the guy, his name is Barbecue, his nickname, because he likes to roast these people and torture them. The guy is awful. And now the gangs have gone together. They used to be rivals, but now for this, they've all joined forces. They're going to have their hands full. The UN is going to have their hands full, and the U.S. is going to have to really step up and bring order, because right now the Santas and the Coast Guard is getting prepared to mass people are and I don't blame them. They want to leave this environment. They don't want to live in this. The Dominican Republic's also shut everything down. So it's there's nowhere to go. It's going to be an inferno, and it'll continue to be an
I
inferno.
remember when you had the Mariel boat lift, and a lot of Cubans were Castro told the families you have to put, I think, 5 or more people on your boat who I tell you to
Yeah,
take, and they
yeah.
were
Well, I tell you, yeah,
right. So we had that in influx, and I remember a lot of those guys, they didn't know who was who. That's why Scarface movie
Scarface,
was made
yeah.
based on that. It's my understanding some of those that they term them Marielitos, which some people view as derogatory. A lot of them are still incarcerated because they can't figure out who they are. This like in Atlanta Penitentiary and all that, and some of them are still incarcerated.
And they had riots there too. Remember, they had some bad, nasty riots out there at the time, and everything else. It was really bad stuff. Um,
I was cellmates with a guy who came over during the Mariel boat lift,
oh, really?
and he admits that he was in prison and he was taken out by Castro, stuck on a boat. He said, but it was so long ago, and I just want to change my life and have a life in America. But he was honest when he came in, so America wouldn't let him out. So he becomes my cellmate on his like permanent immigration hold. And I says, well, will they take you back under any circumstances? He said no. And then the government won't let me out of prison here, because I came over as as a, admittedly.
That's a tough situation. That's a horrible situation to be in.
So what they told him was they gave him an option. They said, if you could find another government that would agree to take you, we'll extradite you to that country. So he started communicating with a woman in Panama, basically trying to beg her to, please accept me over to your home so I can get out of prison. You know,
You know who would accept them? The Venezuelans.
Venezuelans. Okay.
Yeah, Nicolas Maduro. He loves it, especially if he said, "No, I'll be a communist and I'll come back."
This was years
Unbelievable.
ago before it all fell to Chavez and all that,
Hugo Chavez, huh? That's horrible.
right?
I was in Venezuela before Hugo Chavez came to power, and I was there. I went to Margarita Island. I enjoyed the beauties of Venezuela. Now people say it's unrecognizable. The horrors, what's going on. There's like Cuba, right? Before and after the horrors of communism. What's going on?
I went to a
So
local restaurant here, and they were hiring a whole slew of Venezuelans. I mean, they must have been hiring 10 of them one time, and they all just got here in the last few weeks.
really interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
that's
of them have little tattoos and this and that, and I was raising an eyebrow. I'm like, okay.
well, well, that goes nicely into the failed border policies of this administration, right? What a disaster! And the battle between Texas and the Supreme Court, back and forth with the courts. They can't make arrests now. It's back off again. The appellate court said no. Texas officials, law authorities cannot make arrests on immigration charges. So back we go again with that. So back and forth, back and forth.
To be clear, Ignacio and I, both, our ancestors and relatives come from other countries as well. So we support legal migration into this country. So when Trump is speaking fast at an event and they want to mischaracterize his words, he's always said he's talking about illegal aliens. People who get here
Sure.
illegally are the issue because we don't know who they are. It could be the most innocent thing in the world, and they just wanted to speed up their trip, and they're not problematic. But many of the people are really.
That's a problem. Yeah, those are a problem. Are a problem. Yeah, we definitely don't want those. And I feel bad for. I saw a documentary again. I've been watching a lot of good shows too about the cartels. People can pay from Asia, from the Middle East, wherever. They'll pay like 10,000 a person, maybe even higher, to get you in here. No problems is made. That's a lot of money out of your pocket where you're struggling, and this is where your hope is. But you're coming here illegally. That's a problem.
I
That's a
heard
problem.
also that a lot of people from Central and South America, even Mexico, are relatively affluent but can't get in. So what they'll do is they'll fly close to one of the border towns,
Come over.
and they come in refreshed with brand new clothes on. And there's other ones that go back and forth and make TikTok videos out of it. It's so easy to do it. So,
Unbelievable.
oh,
That's a Biden era
there's,
error.
there's one guy on TikTok. He's got, I think it's tons of followers. He's a Venezuelan, and he's out there telling people that he researched all the laws about squatters' rights in this country.
Mm.
So he's encouraging every Venezuelan he possibly can to find out where there's vacant homes, break into them, start getting mail there, change the locks, and you can assert squatters' rights. Because this way we won't be on the streets. They don't want us on the streets. Okay, there's plenty of empty homes in America. He's
No, that's
teaching
wrong.
people how to squat in other people's homes.
That's so wrong. We don't need that. I'm glad that DeSantis, if I'm not mistaken, I just read it pretty quickly yesterday, an article that he just signed a law making it to be homeless illegal. So if you're homeless, you're gonna have to be locked up or find a home for you incarcerated, because people are sick of. See, in Miami, you've been to see a little more of it. I mean, DC was horrific. So they like California and Oakland and other parts, they need to clean that stuff up. And I don't have a problem putting these people somewhere, but you can't be in the street. That's I think is a problem.
I look at it like this. I think, in my personal opinion, yeah, they can't be on the street, but I think that law is going to be struck down as unconstitutional. I mean,
I think it's because of public safety and public safety and public health issues. The people, and plus, and it's a public area. You just can't sleep there. You have to find a home. So I think that's a good solution.
Affluent people in Florida are going to say, yeah, they know nothing about constitutional rights. I honestly think that type of law, if it's geared towards homeless, making it illegal to be homeless, that's like making it illegal to be an addict.
Maybe you can go someone's private property, but I don't know. They get you out or in public area. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but people I think are getting to the point where they don't want to see this. They're getting sick of it. So
the government builds all kinds of things and wastes money on all these people in countries that don't need it. And why can't they, in Florida, for example, build 5 warehouse size places with dividers between each bed where they can go and sleep and be safe and get treatment and work through programs. And
that's what I think people want. That's what people want. That if they tried it in California, but it just became a major failure. Gavin Newsom said he spent billions of dollars, and I said, "Where's the results? It's getting worse." I mean, you have to make sure you can get these people in these locations, because if you're just spending money on these, and then there's no accountability of the money being spent. California spent billions of dollars, and these agencies have stolen the money. They've stolen money, Bill. They didn't help these people. That's a sad thing I see about it.
I was in Fresno just over a year ago, and the homeless problem there is crazy. I was in a decent area, went to a 7-Eleven at about 4:00 in the afternoon. There had to be 20 homeless people milling around.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
And the heat is so scorching. Every one of them was darkly tanned and burned up, scrawny. They're probably, maybe they're on drugs. I don't know. I just felt so bad. I went in there, I bought a whole bunch of bananas and some pastries. And when I came out, I handed them out to like 1 or 2 guys, and they tried to get them. Then the other guys kind of bombarded them. And it was like something out of the apocalypse or something. It was
awful.
crazy. Now, a friend of mine, he happens to be a Democrat, very, very nice guy. Like I said, I have Democrat friends. Brian Bobbitt, he owns a asylum sign shop, and he makes political signs. But anyway, Brian's an awesome human being. He's a gentleman, but he's really trying to help resolve the homeless problem and working with various officials. So I'll give a shout out to Brian
I'm glad they're trying to work on a bill, but it's not working what they're doing, because the situation in Oakland, in Northern California, and Los Angeles, look at those videos, look at the images. It's awful. And when they legalize drugs in British Columbia, out there in Vancouver, it is awful. You got to look at the videos out of Vancouver. I've never seen that. That to me, it's like The Walking Dead. Yeah. It is unbelievable.
We know people that live in Canada in very nice areas where the government suddenly moved in like these halfway treatment houses, like homeless and people in treatment, and then needle distribution centers like right next door to like $500,000 mansions. And so now the homes and cars all in that neighborhood are getting broken into. Property values collapsed, and there's nothing you can do. The government put it there.
That's another Phil administration, Trudeau. So you're going to see some major changes here in this hemisphere, in the region. I mean, look, it started with Javier, with Milei, right? Conservative, he's libertarian. Argentina, afuera. He coined the term afuera, out, making cuts, helping regulate inflation, corruption, and socialism. He's doing the right things there. Very popular here. Trump could win, could RFK Jr., not Biden, anybody but Biden. And then Pierre has a chance also to knock out Trudeau, who's been a very unpopular carbon tax and all the other taxes they have. And there, people can't afford a home. They can't function. They can't live. It's a great escape from Canada. We've seen more Canadians come over to the United States now than ever, and it's a great escape. People are fed up with it.
And they're going into Florida, states like Florida, instead of anywhere else.
If they're smart, you go to red states, Texas and Florida. Get out of the other ones.
They're going downhill quick under the Democrats.
And Virginia is becoming a good red state. Shout out to Governor Youngkin here. He's done a great job out here. Very popular Republican governor. They're really doing strong, and I think it's going to. I'm predicting here. I think Trump could win Virginia, depending how RFK does against Biden here, because it's going to be very tight.
Are you still considering a run for Congress? I remember you mentioned that a few months ago.
I'm thinking about it, but I want to give a good strong dab here, doing the different things, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm close to it, but I'm disgusted how I see the politics in the House. I'm not comfortable seeing that kind of stuff there. I like Mike Johnson, but there's some things that, it's just, it's tough to see. It's tough to swallow. Let's just say that.
Well, as you know, I announced my run for president in 2028. So let's see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't want to go against Trump, but
nobody wants to go against Trump, right?
For the record, I did 18 years for nonviolent offenses, and I had quite the history. But in this country, a convicted felon can run for president. So with me, you know what you're getting. So
I think it's great we have this platform, Bill, and we can talk about things. And that, I think we can be influencers in a positive way without dealing with the problems that come with political office. That's for sure. But something to think about down the road for sure. And let's talk about political office and scandals. And one for the record here is Fannie Willis, of course. Nathan Wade resigned disgrace on Friday, right? Last Friday. He's done. He was special counsel brought in by her. They were lovers. He was married. At least he was married, but he said his wife and him had raised separated, but he was still officially married. And she was paying him over $600,000 through the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. And that money, they were taking exotic trips. So she was benefiting from this. Nice cruises to the Caribbean, other places. They're going to California, Napa. They were just traveling, enjoying themselves off the off the county dime. So now the judge said she could stay, but the Trump attorneys have now filed an appeal, another appeal, and I think it's going to go above the judge's head, which he agreed to. I think at the end, the case gets dismissed and she's removed because this was unethical, shameful behavior, unacceptable. You don't bring someone like an unexperienced guy.
Banana Republic. She's an arrogant, unqualified prosecutor to begin with. She got voted in God knows how. And she has just brought disgrace on the prosecutor's office. And how do you go after one of the most powerful men in the world who's a billionaire, who's about to be president for a second time, with completely fake charges, and not expect every PI and investigator and attorney up your butt looking up every last thing you do to make sure
you better be squeaky clean, and you don't bring in your lover into it. That's for sure. Yeah. You have an affair with this person and you bring Nathan Wade in, give me a break. And he's unexperienced with this kind of cases.
Right. Ignacio, let's see. We have anything else to get to, or are we going to leave some room for our advertisers?
No, I think we're good. We're hitting a good mark right here. Just we have plenty of stuff to look into, folks. Obviously, the shows, our books. Just go on Amazon. Go type in our names in Amazon. Look at Bill's books. Look at my books. Look at our shows on YouTube and Rumble, other social media platforms. There we go. Look at our press releases here, and look for our names for other projects. If you type in my name, I have a lot of press releases now, and there's a lot of stuff out there. I think it hit over 260 outlets, Bill, and over potentially 150 million people. So that's a good thing.
Those are the two books I have out: Sex and the Serial Killer, My Bizarre Times with Robert Durst, about the wealthiest serial killer in American history. And then Galen, Sensational and Impure. Also links in the description along with Ignacio's books. And again, he just did put out another one. And we're going to give a shout out to Frank Lordy, our other co-host.
Sure.
And Ignacio and I are going to be doing a show with Frank next week. The three of us.
Yes, it'll be fun. We did one already with him, and we'll do another one here just to talk some more politics and life and what's going on with his world and all that good stuff.
That's right. So we're going to sign off for today. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you see, it's your decision. Hit like, share the show. leave your machine running so that it keeps running, so that somebody walking by might see it on and enjoy our show and subscribe. So we really
Absolutely.
appreciate the support. We both Ignacio has merchandise out now.
That's
Uh,
right.
you know, we,
And Printify. You go to undercoverinc.printify.me. Undercoverinc.printify.me. A lot of merch, folks, and broken crowns. A lot of merch, from shoes to shorts to shoes to even the magic mug.
there you go. And my merchandise will hopefully be up very soon. And
Nice. Well, I
just
look forward to seeing that too. That's awesome, Bill.
thanks again for joining, everybody.
Guys,
Take care,
thank you.
Ignacio. Thanks for
All right,
coming
take
on.
care. Bye.
Bye.